Hi there, I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com, and this is my Smart American Accent training. Today, I'd like to talk about vowel schwa, the sound of the most common sound in English. We're going to talk a little bit about stressed and reduced schwa, and I'll explain what that means in a moment. And we're going to look at a few words that might help you with some of the places that schwa happens, some of the accent error patterns to watch out for, and just a few details to help you with some common errors that you can avoid. So, as I said, vowel schwa, the sound is the most common sound in English, and this sound is made with the tongue very relaxed and very central. It can be the main vowel in a word. So many words just have vowel schwa: was, does, such, fun, etc. And when it is the main vowel, it will be stressed, a stressed schwa in the word. The symbol for that in IPA is an upside down V, and you'll see that in the dictionary for the words that I mentioned, as well as many common everyday words. One of the challenges with schwa is that it can be spelled a number of different ways. So you may want to check out my video for schwa that teaches you the most common words that have schwa and the accent error patterns to watch out for. In this video, we're going to look a little bit more at some details of stressed and unstressed schwa. So when I say stressed, it just means it's a clear vowel, it's held an appropriate amount of time. And then we also have this schwa. This is actually the most common sound, the short reduced sound. It's the same tongue position, the same sound. It's just can be very reduced and very short. And so this is what we have in unstressed syllables. We have it in reduced words and sounds in connected speech in English. And I like to use the example of the word above because it has both the reduced schwa and the stressed schwa in the same word. So in the word above, the stress is on the second syllable, bove. So that's where we have our stressed schwa. And this is the one that we're holding longer, bove. It rhymes with the word dove or glove. And I've rewritten it for you here with letters UH because it just sounds like an sound. When we say schwa by itself, we spell it UH, that's what we use for a filler sound in English. And have vowel schwa. That's because that's where our tongue rests when we're not speaking. It's our kind of home base for English. So in above, the only difference between the two vowel sounds is that this one will be long, bove. I have the clear stressed schwa. And when we say above, you can hear how I do say in the first syllable, but I don't give it much time or much clarity. Above. It's very short and very reduced. So therefore it has the upside down E, schwa symbol, for the reduced or unstressed schwa, above. So oftentimes the error that we get with this unstressed schwa is that people will be trying to say something that's more like the spelled letter. So in a word like above, you might be saying or or something that you associate more with the letter A, rather than that very reduced sound, above. So using the sound, feeling where that tongue position is, and being able to say it clearly and then quickly in reduced syllables is going to be very helpful when it comes to the stressed and reduced schwa. I want to give you some other examples of words that have schwa and that have both a stressed and reduced schwa. And this is from one of our channel members. He had a request to cover these words, and it pairs in nicely with this topic. So talking about the words bubble and Hubble, what we have in these words is, again, a stressed schwa in the stressed syllable of ba and ha. Those are going to be longer and they're going to have the clear vowel. So you'll see the stress marker, the schwa, and then you may or may not see a second schwa in these words. So bubble, Hubble, I will show you two different ways you'll see this in the dictionary. There's actually three ways. One is for words that end with a syllabic L. They may in the dictionary put no secondary schwa in there at all. You may just see the ba for the stress schwa and then bull with no vowel for the unstressed schwa. Or some dictionaries will put a tiny little schwa before the L to show you that it's a syllabic L. Basically, that means I'm just moving from the b to the ul as quickly as I can. Bull, bubble, bubble. And my schwa is very, very reduced there, almost no vowel. Or a dictionary may show it with the stressed schwa and the unstressed schwa. Ha, bull. These don't sound any different. So just learn what you can see. Depending on which dictionary you use, you're going to see it with a schwa sign, with a mini schwa, or with no schwa at all for that syllabic L sound. But to make the ul, my tongue is in that schwa position, and then it's just lifting for the L. So what I don't want is bull or bull. I don't want that sound to be too long. It's just a indication of how I'm making that dark L sound, that rather than my whole tongue lifting Hubble, ul, the back of the tongue stays down while the front of the tongue lifts to finish the L sound. So in these words, Hubble and bubble, it is similar to above, where the is very, very short in the unstressed syllable, and the clear stressed schwa in the h and the b syllable is the same sound. And then one error pattern to watch out for when we're talking about these stressed and unstressed schwas is that we will sometimes see the schwa used, and I do this as well, before the R. And this is not an and an sound together. It's just the sound. So you can see in a word like bird, the IPA will be this symbol of In a word like paper, the IPA will be a schwa with a rhotic indicator to make you know that it's an R. But these all just sound like So again, with we have a stressed and an unstressed version. I tend to use this representation for both because I want to just show that that is a vowel, an vowel, and it doesn't have any other sounds. It's not an air or an ear. It's not a diphthong. It's just one sound, even though we use two symbols for it. So our viewer was also asking about the word sputter, which does have, again, the schwa, the stressed schwa here. So in the IPA for sputter, you'll see that as spa, then this is a flap, and then he marked it like this, so his dictionary showed that You might also see it like this, sputter. Again, different dictionaries use different symbols. When you're using a dictionary, find their guide to pronunciation, and it'll show you the symbols with example words. You can use that to help you understand how they're trying to represent different sounds. And for sputter, what you don't want here is to think of this and this as both being schwas. This one is a stressed schwa. This one is just the sound. There's no schwa in it. It's just the R when it functions as a vowel. Sputter, sputter. So common error for that sound in American English is to use more of a schwa, like sputter, or kind of an R-colored schwa. And they do that in many dialects of English, but in American English, our is always back and tight. So when you're saying something like sputter, you should really just think of that being the same that you have in the stressed words like bird or word. It's just that in bird and word, we hold it a little longer, bird, whereas in sputter, it's still the same sound. It's just very short, and you don't want to make it strong. So it's tight, but not stressed, sputter. I talk about this in great detail in my videos about American R, and you can check that out in our American R playlist, as well as in our Sounds of English course. I'll walk you through all of the different sounds and spelling, IPA, common words, but I wanted to just specifically address this schwa versus contrast for our member, and also for many of you. This is something to be aware of and watch out for when it comes to the schwa sound and the sound. Okay, and then one other somewhat related topic. I want to look at the word drizzly, because in this word we have something similar happening that we had with stressed and reduced schwa. And I will also give you another example. I'm going to use the word between. And in the word between, instead of a schwa, I'm going to talk about the stressed I sound and the reduced I sound. So we have also this vowel I. This is a lax vowel. It can be a vowel in itself. So in the word drizzly, we have an I sound in the stressed syllable. It's just like in the word is or it. It's a high front vowel. And in the word between, we have a reduced I sound in the first syllable. So what we're talking about here is that this sound can also be clear, like in drizzly, or it or is. It's the main vowel. It's held for a long time. It's in the stressed syllable. Or it can be short and reduced. And that's an example, just like our schwa, we have the reduced sound. Typically, we spell it with an E or an I when it's reduced. So in a word like between, we don't say between here. Even though we have letter E, we're saying that I, that reduced sound, and that first unstressed syllable. So even though we use the same symbol for these two, this one is going to be short because it's in the unstressed syllable. This one's going to be long and clear because it's in the stressed syllable. So something like between, thinking about, I usually write the B sound with IH, between or return. We just want to, again, have that really short, lax, reduced sound, between, return. Whereas in drizzly, drizz is, I'm holding that I sound longer because it's stressed and also because it's followed by a voice sound. And then what you need to watch out for here is that for many people, a word like drizzly or city or busy is challenging because we have the tense E at the end. So what most people who are non-native speakers struggle with is the difference between I and E, and mostly when the E needs to be short and the I needs to be long in duration. This is why I don't teach these sounds as, some people call this long E and short I. I don't use long and short here because I think that can be very misleading. The length of the vowel depends on what word it's in, whether it's stressed, the context. And so I hold I in drizzly for a long time. It's the clear tense lax I sound. And then my li is the tense E, but it's very short and reduced. Drizzly, drizzly. And a common error is for people to say more like drizzly, to use an I here or a schwa here because it's in the unstressed syllable. But you still need your tense E sound, even though it's short and it's somewhat reduced in duration. So to practice that, you can say it slowly and give it a little bit more length than you normally would, like drizzly, drizzly, to make sure that you don't either match the vowels like drizzly or drizzly. You don't want the same vowel in a word like these. And you can check out my videos for words that end in ity, like city and pretty. You can check out my video for really, really, that will help you with this I-E problem. Once you can say drizzly, drizzly, with that short but still tense E at the end, try it in a few sentences. For example, it's very drizzly in Seattle today. I don't really like drizzly weather. It's not raining hard, it's just drizzly outside. Okay, so a lot of details here about vowel sounds, stress patterns, schwa, I, reduced sounds. These are all topics that I cover in other videos and for specific words, and I do go into detail for you on these sounds in my Sounds of English course on speechmodification.com. That's a great way to understand the spelling, the sounds, and what accent error patterns you may have, what to watch out for. And it's a good way to build that strong foundation to pronounce any word you like confidently and easily in American English. So I hope you'll check that out on our website, speechmodification.com, as well as checking out our videos and playlists here on the channel. We have our Sounds of English playlist and our Vowel Sounds playlist that can help you, as well as our intonation playlist, because that looks at the rhythm of words, reduced and clear vowels. So it's a great way to get a little bit more detail. Thanks so much for watching and being a part of class today. Nice to see all of you here today. And if you need more examples for the schwa sound, I see your comment. Check out our video on schwa. You can go to our vowels playlist and check out all of the different vowels, but we have quite a few videos talking about schwa and example words. And also you can check that out on our website, on our Sounds of English course. I'll be back again tomorrow with another word of the day, and next Saturday we'll have our live question and answer class where you can attend, type your questions in the chat, and I'll answer them for you live. If you're watching this later as a replay, feel free to leave a comment below with your questions and requests, and I'll add them to my list to cover in a future class. Thanks so much for your support of the channel. I really appreciate those of you who have joined as subscribers, and especially channel members like our channel member who made the requests today to talk about these words and this topic. It's a great topic, and I get so many wonderful ideas about how to help you by your comments and your requests, so keep those coming. Thanks everyone, have a great weekend, and I look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's Word of the Day class. I'm Christine Dunbar from speechmodification.com. Remember, if you want to sound like a native speaker, you can do it. speechmodification.com. Bye everyone. Hope to see you again soon.